And then it says advanced sharing options. No, I'm not able to share.
On my side, I am able to share.
Okay.
The host needs to let you share. The host.
Yes, Satam, can you help me, please? We tested it this morning before everyone joined. It was working.
Can you try again, Jessica?
Nope.
It should be working.
Okay, now it's working. Thank you. So can everyone see my screen? Of course, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. And if I'm missing out on the raising of hands because the PowerPoint has filled up my screen, just give me a shout, please. So the title of my intervention or the presentation today will be how entrepreneurs can help keep the momentum in times of COVID-19. As you know, the pandemic started in March 2020, officially with the lockdown. And what I've noticed as well is since last year, the first 6 months, I can say, lockdown, post-lockdown, and until the economy started picking up again, that I've noticed through my clients as well, was that we were more into an observation mode to see, since it was a brand new situation that some people haven't lived, having been entrepreneurs for the past 30 years, they haven't lived a situation like that. So the first 6 months was more, let's wait and see what will happen. Let's wait and see how the government is going to help us. Let's wait and see how the economy will bounce back. And then compared to last year, what we noticed in terms of shift, was about this year was really different. It was a different ball game in the sense that the terminations, the redundancies, and the real impact on businesses started this year. As you may have seen in the press, as you may have had friends or family who got laid off. And this is where the situation didn't help in terms of helping startups and entrepreneurs in bouncing back. Some even closed their businesses. And this is what I'm going to focus on today, so that even whatever happens in the future, we don't know if there will be another lockdown next year, the year after. We don't know when this disease is leaving the whole world for a fact. So how do we bounce back? How do we keep the momentum during those times or any other crisis? So this was pretty much about what we're still facing, to be honest. If I can share an unfortunate circumstance that happened to one of my clients this year, after having run 30 to 40 years, his real estate business, and last year being financially really has taken a hit. So the whole family is employed by the business, and the business has roughly 30 employees. So having taken a hit in terms of financial, having called me to restructure, remodel his whole HR, and even in terms of seeing how we can sustain some positions, how we can make redundant other positions, etc. And after this lockdown, this person has not been able to carry on paying salaries end of the month. So it was delayed. It was broken into 2 free payments. And unfortunately, this client passed away through a heart attack on the 6th of August. This was a hard hit for me as well, because I've known him personally for the past 5 years. And this is where I realized the whole thing is getting real now in terms of yes, the whole thing is getting real now in terms of the impact on the businesses and how it's becoming such a stressful situation and how you can bounce back. And on the contrary, I have another client that I've again worked with him for the past 6 years in the manufacturing industry. I was so pleasantly surprised, because what he did is he used, since last year, he didn't delay. He was very agile in using the situation, in converting his line of business into another line of business. And this year, so after 1 year of working hard, toiling with his sales and marketing, And he did that during the lockdown of last year, to be honest. And that was a genius thing to do for me, because this year, 2021, it's now that he's reaping all the profits, and he's doing even more better than what he was selling before in terms of financial figures. So since I intervene with a lot of entrepreneurs in Mauritius, so I can see the difference in terms of, especially when you're facing a crisis, when you're quick to take decisions, not too quick, of course, in terms of, you don't want to have panic decision taking or impulsive decision taking, of course not. It's a consultation that you need to have with your employees or the management team as well. But to dwell on the situation because of emotions, or because of you don't know how to bounce back, or some entrepreneurs have such an ego as well, because they don't want to admit that we have to rethink the business model. This really can be detrimental at the end of the day. And this is where I was speaking to a consultant who helps marketing. I help in terms of HR and employment law. He helps in other companies in terms of marketing. And he told me that since last year, he's been helping lots of businesses review their whole marketing strategy, how to position themselves, rethink their business model, rethink their services they're providing. Some services will have to be downsized. Some you need probably to streamline and things like that. And even myself, I went through this reflection mode and this exercise, and I've already decided. So next year will be my 10-year anniversary for my business. And this is where I started thinking, especially it's been 2 years now that we have COVID-19, and I even factored in next year as well. So do I keep these services? Is it still serving the market? What do I want to do in terms of adding value? So this is where, from offering 10 services, I've decided to streamline to only 3. And for the next year, that's going to start. So anyway, moving on to the next slide, just a little recap of what makes an entrepreneur. We go back to the roots. Basically, it's passion, it's perseverance, it's resilience, it's proactiveness, and it's the right attitude. If someone tells me I want to be an entrepreneur to be rich, to seek just money out of it, I will say that business will fail in the next 3 to 4 years, because you need to have that drive. You need to believe in what you're selling. You just don't come and sell just for the sake of selling to earn a profit. And you need to believe in what you're doing, believe in what you're selling. Convince people that what you're selling, be it a product or a service, will change their lives, will add value to whatever they're doing. And because I will say, and I've seen it as well, for that 1 rupee or $1 that you're selling a product, they need to see a return on investment. They need to see an added value for your product, your service, to be able to have make a difference in their lives. And for that, you need to be passionate. Because why I always say to be passionate, because there will be times where you won't have any money. There will be times where you will work 60, 70 hours a week. There will be times when everybody's sleeping, you'll have to work. And trust me, the love of money doesn't bring this drive. What brings this drive is your passion, is what you're doing, is what you're selling, and the difference that you're making into the society, into the economy. Perseverance and resilience. Resilience meaning being able to bounce back. So especially, for example, in terms of COVID-19. So perseverance is, like we say in Creole, tomber levé, du manzoli. And this is to be able, the ability and having the right attitude as well, to be able to see, okay, we've had a good cry, we're going through a bad time, what do we do next? How do we bounce back? How do we get up again? Because you will hit rock bottom many times. Myself, to be honest, for the last 9 years, I've had 3 burnouts. One being admitted to the clinic. Because I had a hard time managing my work-life balance, to be honest. I've learned from my mistakes, and this is where can someone mute their mic, please? Yes. So this is where it's very important to be able to have the right attitude to say, oh no, it's not working, I'm a failure, I've wasted all this time, all this money. No, this is not the winning attitude. The winning attitude is, yes, it happened to me, now what do we do next? Because mind you, to fail, you might fail. I don't wish that you do, but you should not be scared of failing as well. But bouncing back, this is where perseverance and resilience. I myself, when I started, I was so scared, I will say. I was saying to myself, what if it doesn't work out? I would have wasted my money, my time, when I could have excelled or improved my career path in terms of in working for a company. What if I'm 2-3 years down the line, I go bankrupt? What will happen? It happened. It happened. I have to be honest, it happened. I went bankrupt at some point. But at the same time, it's how you bounce back and how you go about it that's going to make the difference. And you will see a difference in yourself in terms of what happened to you. You failed at some point, you fail for a service, you fail for that client or everything. So for example, I've serviced 100 SMEs in Mauritius in East Africa. There were some clients that I couldn't service anymore because I couldn't see the difference or the value that I'm bringing to them. So I decided to pull out from their businesses. And yes, it does something to you, meaning that you fail that client or something like that. But at the end of the day, is you should focus on bringing a difference or making sure that whatever you're offering is adding value. And as I always say, I'm not just going to service a client for the money. I need to see that they're appreciating my service, that they believe in what I'm bringing to the table. So the concept, when I went for my fellowship in America, I learned a concept which was fail forward. That is, don't be afraid to fail. You will fail. If you didn't fail, that will be an issue. So, but you need to know, what's my plan B? What's my plan C? How do I bounce back? How do I come back and come back stronger? So bear in mind, these are the characteristics of successful entrepreneurship. Proactiveness, of course, is to be able to, I know it's very difficult to do that in practice, but you need to always be 2 steps ahead in terms of the market. And what do we do? What do we do especially, how do we do it? Is you always have some marketing intelligence. Just every 6 months, see what your competitors are doing. See what's has entered the market in terms of products, in terms of service. Query even with your competitors or through clients who have serviced your competitors. What's the difference? What are they doing differently? Research what's being done abroad, because you know, Mauritius market is not the end of it all. There are so many things that are being done abroad that are not even exploited or will be brand new in Mauritius. So always try to be 2 to 3 steps ahead in terms of the market. And I know at some point, for example, I launched a business called Rise Live Life Well. It was about a health discount card, and that was a bad timing to do that last year. We started working on it in 2019 to be able to launch in May 2020. We did with Georgina, Ragaven, who helped as well on the project. But then we realized at some point that it's not picking up. It's not picking up because we picked the wrong year. It wasn't our fault. Nobody could have predicted COVID-19. And because last year people were not focused, or even this year, people are not so much focused on health as such. They're more focused on survival mode because so many people are losing their jobs. So now to go and tell these people, you know, you need to eat healthy, you need to exercise more, they will say, come on, I don't have a job. I don't even have money to buy proper food. So what are you talking about? But then what we decided to do is, okay, let's consolidate the thing and be more present on the social media and gain more members, gain more audience in terms of trying to get the word out there. What is Rise Live Life Well? What are we doing it? How is it going to make a difference? And then hopefully next year or the year after, we'll hit the market again, and we'll see the difference. If it doesn't pick up, it won't pick up. You don't beat yourself about it, and you move on to the next project or whatever you're doing. The next slide will be a book that I was introduced to when I was in the United States that I never heard about it. Now in my last workshop sessions for entrepreneurs back in April this year, someone told me that this concept started gathering momentum in Mauritius. So back then in 2014, when I went, I never heard of something called Lean Startup. What is it about? Why? So it's basically it defines a startup as a human institution that's designed to deliver a new product or service under conditions of extreme uncertainty. To sum up, you can Google the concept of Lean Startup. You can buy the book, read the book. To sum up, it's how do you make your business model in itself so lean, so that you focus on your service, but then you don't get pulled back or even go bankrupt in terms of the structure, the cost structure of your business. And it asks you, it's got a model, a canvas model, the lean canvas model that asks you the right questions so that you can hit the concept, the core, the essence of your business. What are you doing? How are you going to do it? What partners? What targeted market? Cost structure, profit structure, and things like that. And this is why I've been pushing the whole time I speak in newspapers, the whole time I speak on the radio, I speak in newspapers, I write in newspapers. The whole time I push for this type of business because this is my clients who haven't followed this kind of structure, they went bankrupt or they're still running millions of rupees of losses per month. So I always say we don't, and COVID-19 has revolutionized the way we do business in terms of we don't need, it has been proven now, we don't need big bling bling offices to operate. We don't need to have a big banner, big logo outside an office. There are some, depending on the businesses, there are some regulations that require if you need, for example, if you're operating a training center, you need a training center, of course. You can't always do it online. But most of the businesses or the entrepreneurs that I've spoken to, or the micro businesses that do not require an emplacement or an office, I'll say don't go for it because the rent is so expensive in Mauritius and it can make you bankrupt within the first year. So focus on put the money in your marketing, put the money in social media marketing instead of putting the money in massive cost structure in terms of building positions for your human resources that you don't require it. There are so many, this I have learned as well. So for candidates that I met in my recruitment exercise, so since last year, they told me we've been made redundant because we lost our job because the business has decided to outsource the maximum of services, marketing, IT, HR, accounting. So you see a trend where businesses now are more going with COVID-19, which has provoked it. And in a way, it's a good thing, which has not a good thing for people who lost their jobs, of course. In a good thing in terms of going and moving more of it towards the lean startup model. And I can't stress this enough. The purpose of a business is to create. Can you guess what it is about? Can you write in the chat box, what is the purpose of the business, according to you? Oh, geez, no. Hang on. Find solution. Good. Jeez. Anyone else? What is the purpose of creating a business? What is the value exactly? So basically, it was a fun sentence because the answer is in the sentence as well. So the purpose of a business is to create a purpose, meaning that you need to be able to bring on the table. Tomorrow you're going to market. And I know it's a very difficult game to be able to market your service, because this as well I've seen with many, and it started with myself, to be honest. I'm an HR person. I've never worked in marketing. I've recruited sales and marketing people, but myself, I've never marketed anything. So when I started in the first year, I had to upskill myself in following small courses, how to market your product. I had the chance of having a very good friend of mine who had been working in sales and marketing for years, and he explained to me how to go about it on the social media in a very amateur way. I started it. I didn't have the funds to go and hire a marketing consultant or anything like that. So my friend helped me in terms of pinning down your pitch, your 2-minute pitch, why I should buy your service, who you are, why do they need your service, who to target in terms of the market, which segment will not use my services. Because for HR outsourcing, for example, I can't market it to everyone. So there needs to be a maximum number of employees where it makes sense to have the outsourcing business, because otherwise at some point I will tell the business, I think now you need to hire internally an HR person, because it's no more an outsourcing solution. So there are things like that. And of course, when I went to the United States, and this is where they got us doing things more in a professional way, because we got lectures from proper marketing consultants and things like that. So they showed us how to refine our LinkedIn profile. I didn't even know that this was even an issue, or we had to work on it. So the 2-3 lines that introduce you on LinkedIn, for example, need to make an impact. Never even knew about that. And of course, they helped us refine our business model, drop things here and there, add where it needed to be added, and things like that. And one thing I can say is, last time I went to a global entrepreneurship summit in Silicon Valley, that was in 2016, and I heard so many people speak, and the one that got to me was the CEO of Uber, and he said he went bankrupt 6 times before starting Uber. So again, because effectively he mentioned, when asked, but why, and then he said the business model or the market he was serving wasn't there, and he didn't realize it because he was so, comme des chevaux avec ce banzelier. Donc he was so convinced that it will work, but he didn't realize that whatever he was offering before wasn't serving the market. So at the end of the day, the market is your boss, and you need to find a way to be able to penetrate the market in a way that it's going to make a difference. But again, you need to have a purpose behind the business. Why is your business existing? You can't tell me my business has been here for 20 years, that's why it's existing. And this is the danger for these kind of entrepreneurs who've been there for a long time, not necessarily making profitable businesses, to be honest. And they don't want to rethink their model. They don't want to reset. They don't want to readjust. And this is the danger, the pitfall that you will get into. And this is where I have a tough time when I go into a business, because I don't advise in terms of strategy or business model. And I'm not an expert, and I don't want to pretend to be an expert in this. I just share whatever I've seen, whatever I've been through, so that they can have an insight. Because at the end of the day, the basic of the business are the employees. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell them if I see something not working in terms of an organizational structure, saying, and especially if the business is struggling financially, I will say, you don't need this position, or you could do this, you could do that. And in terms of the implementable structure, of course. So yes. And of course, my favorite, I have 2 last slides. My favorite quote is from Richard Branson, whom you all know, Virgin, is using failure to succeed. So the best entrepreneurs usually have a few battle scars and war stories to tell. Remember to take the positives from your experience and apply them to your next business. And this is what resilience, perseverance is all about. This guy has failed. I read his book. his biography, he has failed so many times. He has lost so much money in terms of businesses that were not serving the market. But then again, you need to be quick in realizing it. You need to not be delusional in the sense that if after 6 months, 1 year didn't pick up, question yourself, what are you doing wrong? And this is where I also find that some entrepreneurs have a hard time, believe it or not, in questioning what they're doing wrong. And I always tell them, do you go about life thinking that you got everything right all the time till the end of time? So being able to question ourselves, question the service, question, and you need to do, that's why some businesses do strategic plans as well, every 3 to 5 years. And this is where they roll out whatever they're doing, if it's still up to date, if it still makes sense to be in business, first of all. And of course, my other favorite quote will be from Nelson Mandela that says, "It always seems impossible until it is done." And what I can share is I would have never in a million years, when I started in my first year, thought that in 2022, I'll hit my 10-year anniversary. There were so many times, even my own family told me, it's not working, Jess, you're having a bad time, go and look for a job. You're wasting your years. Because when I started, so basically 25, 26 years old. And the opportunity cost for me was massive back at the time, more at the time then than now. Why? Because when you're from 26 to 30, this is why in terms of your career, when you're working in a company, this is where you get to, and you're young, you have more energy, more effort, you can deliver more, you can work 70 hours a week. And this is where you maximize the best in terms of your career, and you're climbing the ladder and everything. And then I said, if I don't make it by 30, I would have wasted 4 to 5 years doing just that and putting nothing on my CV. And this is where I started going to, and parallel in what I was doing, yes, speaking to, I had lots of speaking opportunities, but also I looked for mentors, I looked for fellowships, I always tend to look for things that are going to improve my knowledge. And I'm still reading. I even had a list of 20 books that I need to buy in 2022. It's all about business. There are new concepts out there. There are new things being done. And I love reading about the big businesses, the entrepreneurs, the CEOs in the United States, how they did it. Because it's not going to apply to Mauritius, of course, but you never know how you can pick up on ideas and tweak your business model, fine tune it. And the last thing that I will share is in 2014, I decided out of craziness, I guess, to take an assistant, go 1 month in East Africa on a budget. So we did Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, to look for businesses, because I don't know what happened. Of course, it was 3 months of looking for meetings prior to that, but I started the year 2014 saying that Mauritius is not going to be the end of it all. I will try to look for businesses in East Africa. And even though I didn't know anyone back then, it was even before my fellowship in the United States, so I didn't have any network. And we went, so 1 month budget. 1 month budget would have been not necessarily having the money to take planes. So we took coaches, 18 hours drive at times. We lived in budget hotels. We maximized on security, to be honest, because it's East Africa at the end of the day. And we lost, I made contacts. The network was huge. I managed to get 2 clients, but I lost money as well in terms of not knowing. This wasn't good in terms of having people who wanted to scam me as well. So that's why I said, when you go in East Africa, make sure your network is solid. It will save time and money. So yes, and we came back and I tweaked my website. I was redoing my website in 2014 as well. And there's something I discovered. I didn't know that it was called SEO, search engine optimization. And this is where you tweak it to be able to focus on not only Mauritius, but 3 to 4 African countries, East African countries. And as bête as cela semble, I've had for the last 5 years businesses from East Africa just because of that SEO exercise. that I never knew that could happen. I never knew someone from South Africa, from Madagascar, from East Africa could knock on my door just because of an SEO and a website. So this is where you will never stop learning. Don't stop reading, always inquire, always listen to YouTube videos, get a mentor, rethink your business model every 1-2 years, especially rethink more times if it's not picking up, if you're not making money out of it, what's wrong, and gather feedback from your clients, what you could do better, and always keep that humble mindset for you to succeed. Thank you very much. I've seen someone. Okay. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, you can speak or you can write it in the chat box. So good morning, Georgina. And good morning, Ashveena.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Jessica. Morning, everyone.
So any questions so far? I hope I didn't exceed my time. If you don't have any questions, I think we can move on.
Yes. So thank you, Trainer Jessica Joy-Coron, for this inspiring presentation, which I am sure all participants would have learned a lot from and would be very happy to apply these insightful tips, I would say, in their businesses. And yes, we do have a question from our local president, Satyam.
Yes, thank you, Jessica. Very inspiring. I want to know what made you, leave your job and then do your own business. That transition, because you're quite safe when you have a job. At the end of the month, you're getting your salary. What's that thing that made you decide, okay, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be an entrepreneur now. Is there something specific?
So when I look back in 2012, I got back to Mauritius after my studies in 2009. So I had a good ride, 2 years in a super startup company. And then I decided to join the corporate world. And I got a big hit in terms of how things are done in the corporate world in terms of HR, which were not matching my values. And where I've seen people, struggling mentally. I've seen someone commit suicide. I've seen the politics that go in the corporate world. And another day, even though I had a very good salary, I didn't have a car back then. I didn't have my driving license. So I said, no, this is going to change me, who I am, and because of a salary. I don't dismiss anyone working. I can understand that not everybody has the same ambition or same finances to start a business. But for me, I'm speaking for myself, back then I said no. The corporate world, for me, in terms of what I want to bring, in terms of HR and who I am, I won't carry on. And true, I started, so I started with very little money, I think 100K. In terms of how much it requires to start a business, 100K is not a lot. You can run out of it in 5 months, to be honest. The marketing itself takes a lot of money. So 100K, I started, I didn't have a car. I rode on buses. I've had people, I heard people, how the Mauritian culture can be very harsh at times to say, oh, she failed in the corporate world. Li pa ka travail pour du monde, ça. Li comme ça, ouais, li trop cause beaucoup, ou à cause elle fait ce business, à cause il pas qu'à travailler dans la compagnie, pas qu'à travailler pour du monde, personne pas les employer. Things like that I've heard, but I didn't care. It got me because you're young at some point. But then I focused on my business, and then I remember it was 1 month. I sat down with my elder brother, And he said, what do you want to do next? Why not try entrepreneur? I said, but nobody in our family is an entrepreneur. I don't even know nothing about it. What if I lose all this money? Qui fait mon pas mettre 500 euros puis là dans le compte la banque, mon donne travail, mon gagne buffer. It's but what do you have to lose? I have everything to lose. And then he said, he encouraged me. And then I spoke to my parents about it. And they said, yeah, why not? Try it. Try it for 6 months. Try it for 1 year. See how it's picking up. And I started in a very amateur way, to be honest. Even the website that I did the website myself. So I had my friend who was in sales marketing help me. And then I started liking it. It's not just a lifestyle. You work more, to be honest. You work more. And even when people are partying at your age, they are inviting you out, saying, I can't, I work 7 days a week. And but then, of course, it's not like that now. Now that I've established the brand, the thing, things are easier now, to be honest. And then I also remember at some point, because my bachelor degree is a law degree, but when I came back to Mauritius, it was in HR. So before starting the business, I was even thinking of, why do I not go back into the law field, do my bar and everything, become a barrister? And I started speaking to all my friends from university who graduated, and they said, we don't have any money, we're not getting any clients. And even them, it took them 10 years, some of them 5 to 10 years to be able to hit that income revenue stream. So then I thought, that why will I need to invest again to go do the bar? And why don't I start a business and a startup? And that's about it. That's how it started. But you have, I can say, when I started, I had 70% fear, doubts. And then this is why I decided to join like MIOD, and Georgina is in the Women Entrepreneur Network. You need to surround yourself with these kind of people, same mindset, same passion, same drive. Because what I noticed for myself, when the friends that I used to have, I no more hang out with them, because they wouldn't understand my lifestyle, what I'm trying to do. So, and this is why it can be very lonely when you start as an entrepreneur. And this is why I encourage you as well to surround yourself with like-minded people, mentors, those who succeeded, or networks like MIOD, Women Entrepreneurs for Women, and there are so many more. So yes, a long answer, I know. That's how I started. Oh, you should write a book. You know how many people told me that story? I need to have 10 more years, then I can write a book. As an entrepreneur, I bet you had to create partnerships and network, whether bad experiences. What were the, oh yes. I always tell people, your business partner, you should have more affinity and more like-minded mindset with your business partner than with your own husband or wife, to be honest, because you will strive together, you will fight, some won't have the necessarily same goal, and this is where you need to be aligned in terms of the vision of the goals, where we're going, how we're going to do it, in terms of investment as well. I've had people who try to scam me in terms of my money as well. Oh, Jessica, spend the whole thing and then I'll reimburse you. And then there was no reimbursements. So, and yes, in terms of, I hate to work with people who are very lazy. I've had fights with business partners. When I see that, they want to ride in terms of your effort, your network. I don't mind sharing my network to starting entrepreneurs in media network. But if I see that someone isn't putting in as much as effort, especially when they're starting, that I'm more allergic. That's why Georgina and I, we get along, because we have the same mindset. And finance-wise, we hear a lot about venture capitalists. Oh, the thing I'm so happy that they started it in Mauritius, because when I started, to get a loan, to have funding, it was so practically impossible because you need payslip, you need to faisais un jour, tu as tout about return, you need to show, how can I say, years, 3 years minimum for some banks in terms of income revenue. And this is where, for everyone who is, if you can Google it, there's some structure that started called FundKiss. I think there are some crowd lending other platforms, but this one is solid. And they will, yes, you have to prove credentials, but you don't necessarily, credentials more than figures, because there are some startups as well. So basically, if you want 100, 200, 300, the maximum I think is 3 million from what they market, but you need seed money. You need money to reinvent your business. You can apply. The repayments depend, and this is where it's very important, not just to get money, know what you will do with that money. They will ask you, get a plan. How is it going to be spent, etc. And then the maximum that you can reimburse is within 24 months. And you can see the success stories on their website as well. There are some shops that needed 50K, 20K, 70K, and just needed to boost, especially after COVID-19. And they've been able to get that fund money. And consider you as lucky, because when I started these things, you needed to go to the bank, you needed a business plan. To write a business plan, you see an accountant, it's minimum 25K and things like that. So yes, so finance wise, venture capitalists, there is another network that started this year called Punch from the MCB. There's a website. You can register for free as an entrepreneur, and then you get access to, I'm a growth partner on it. So lots of growth partners that are going to help you grow in terms of tweaking your services. You can get clients from that website. It's called Punch. MCB is not paying me to do their marketing. I just think it's a great innovative idea. And then you can get venture capitalists over there. I'm not sure, I haven't heard of anything like that yet, but I'm sure they have it. No, I didn't approach them because the ones that I met or spoke to in the USA were asking me for a minimum of 300K to be able to even get on board for them to market my services, to get an angel investor. There are some other, there's one in Dubai, there's one from Switzerland, a guy who wants to come to Mauritius, but there's there's a huge barrier to entry when you don't have money. You have money, but who's going to spend 100 or 300K just to get onto a network? So this is where you have to be careful as well, not to get scammed or not to blow up all your money in trying to get more money. That's it. Any more questions? Thank you to all. I'll hand back the floor to you guys.
Thank you very much, Trina, Jessica. Dear participants, before proceeding to the next session, let's take a break of 5 minutes to grab a coffee and some yummy snacks, and we will resume after 5 minutes. So everyone, let's resume at 10:40. 10:14. Welcome back, everyone. We will now proceed with our second training on grooming and business etiquette for entrepreneurs by Senator Auntie Ashveena Mewa. She counts 6 years of professional experience in the field of BPO and accounts, and she has over 11 years of experience as a trainer and business consultancy. Senator Ashveena is well known for her rich career with JCI from 2009, where she has been occupying important roles like JCI Mauritius Senate Secretary, Growth and Recruitment Director, Africa and Middle East Development Counselor, among others. Our trainer also participated in international events such as National and World Congress, Area Conference, and National Convention events. Her dedication and hard work were recognized, and she was awarded Best Local Board Member in 2010, Most Outstanding Local President in 2013, and Senator in 2018. She became the master of her own destiny with the incorporation of Auntie Mewa Training and Consultancy Services. Our trainer is an MQA-approved soft skills trainer in customer service, organizational excellence, and interpersonal skills. She holds a degree in business management from the University of Sunderland and is on the pathway to become a certified meta coach. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our trainer, Senator Auntie Ashveena Mewa.
Bonjour, bonjour tout le monde. Merci, merci Komal pour cette introduction. Wow, je ne crois pas que c'est moi tout ça, mais merci beaucoup donc pour ça. Alors, je voulais juste dire que I keep my feet on the ground après cette introduction pour dire que I'm still, comme on dit, a lifelong learner. Okay? Donc, j'apprends toujours et j'essaie d'être meilleure chaque jour. OK? Alors, la session que je vais animer aujourd'hui, donc, c'est sur grooming et business étiquette pour entrepreneurs. Je voulais juste voir quelque chose. Comment j'ai un petit souci? Je peux activer ma caméra de mon côté, ça marche. Ah, c'est bon. Voilà, super. Alors, j'allais en fait vous demander si c'est possible, peut-être, donc, ceux qui le peuvent, d'allumer la caméra, comme ça, je ne me sens pas trop seule. Et que, comme on dit, malgré qu'on est dans le virtuel, justement, qu'on peut humaniser notre session. OK? Donc, c'est bien. Voilà, ça fait plaisir de vous voir et que, voilà, c'est mieux, c'est beaucoup mieux. OK, alors, juste quelques petits, donc, un roadmap surtout pour notre session. Alors, j'aime bien que les sessions soient interactives et participatives, comme on dit, parce que c'est pas ma session, en fait, c'est votre session. Donc, du coup, il faut profiter au maximum et surtout participer. OK, qu'on interagisse, qu'on rend la session en fait intéressante. Alors, je sais que donc on m'a fait savoir, j'ai donc 1 heure et je ne vais pas prendre trop le temps de Georgina qui est juste après moi. Donc, je vais quand même respecter le temps. Alors, à savoir que donc vous pouvez prendre les notes, vous pouvez donc mettre des commentaires dans le chat, OK, comme je disais. Donc, si vous avez des questions ou sinon, vous pouvez garder donc vos questions à la fin. OK, à la fin et on répondra. Autre chose, c'est que vous pouvez, donc, comme vous savez bien, utiliser donc, le petit bouton Reactions, please do so à mesure qu'on avance dans la session. Comme ça, je sais que ça va de votre côté et que donc tout se passe bien. D'accord? Alors, donc, comment c'est toi qui vas, juste pour que je mentionne, c'est toi qui vas partager la présentation?
Okay. Ce sera Anusha.
OK, d'accord, super. We can, donc, on peut démarrer donc la présentation. Anusha, c'est OK de ton côté? Yes. Alors, on va attendre un petit moment. Let me know, else I can share my screen. C'est pas un problème.
Please allow us a few minutes. We are just checking everything's okay on her side.
Oui.
Thank you.
Donc, entre-temps qu'on met la présentation, donc je demanderai justement aux participants donc, de réfléchir par rapport à justement notre sujet d'aujourd'hui qui est le personal grooming. OK? Qu'est-ce qui vous vient à l'idée en fait quand on parle du grooming ou quand on parle du personal grooming aujourd'hui? Donc, vous avez quand même un petit temps pour réfléchir. Et donc, n'hésitez pas soit de le mettre dans le chat, dans la boîte à discussion et nous dire en fait qu'est-ce que vous comprenez par ça. À savoir que la session, donc normalement, donc sur le grooming, business etiquette, personal grooming, ça peut être sur 2 heures, mais là, on a quand même, donc compress, allons dire ça comme ça, mais on va essayer de faire le maximum. Okay? Okay. Vous pouvez aussi activer le micro du coup et nous dire. Yes, OK, ça arrive. Super, merci. Oui.
Apologies, Senator Ashveena. So I will be sharing your screen, yeah?
Oui, OK. Donc, on peut avancer un petit peu mal, merci. Donc, on a déjà fait l'introduction, c'est bon. Peut-être le 3e slide sur les objectifs. Voilà. Donc, qu'est-ce qu'on va couvrir dans une heure de session? C'est personal grooming, comprendre l'importance des étiquettes. OK, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire déjà? Et 3e, c'est comprendre déjà notre attitude et le comportement qu'on a besoin d'adopter en tant qu'individu et aussi en tant qu'entrepreneur, OK, par rapport à notre business. Voilà. Next, Komal, merci. Alors, donc, la question que je posais tout à l'heure là, donc, quelle est votre définition aujourd'hui quand on parle de personal grooming? Alors, je vois donc Vinou qui me dit, you speak, the way you speak, the way you communicate. OK, oui, quelqu'un d'autre? Vous pouvez aussi activer le micro et nous parler et après, vous désactivez, comme ça, on n'entend pas le bruit de fond à l'arrière. Anyone? Oui? Avishek? Une définition. Alors, à savoir que there's no right or wrong answer. On va écouter, on va participer. So, please feel free. Anything. Bonjour.
Yes. Je veux dire, the way you present yourself to the customers.
Oui, donc the way you present yourself. Oui, très bien. To customers and to others.
Yes, to others.
Bien sûr, merci. Alors, donc, Shivani qui me dit attire and personality. Effectivement, donc tout ce que vous avez dit, ça fait partie de la définition du grooming et le personal grooming. Body gestures, Bouchan me dit, oui, OK. Komal, please, next slide. Alors, allons voir en fait qu'est-ce que le dictionnaire nous dit. OK, what is personal grooming? So, it is defined, it refers to an art which helps individuals to clean and maintain their body parts. Personal grooming does not mean applying loads of makeup and wearing expensive clothes. It refers to cleaning and maintaining each and every body part for a pleasing appearance. OK? Alors, comme la définition nous dit, l'idée, c'est pas de mettre trop de maquillage ou de mettre, comme j'ai tendance à dire, de s'habiller avec des vêtements neufs tous les jours. Tous les jours, vous allez acheter quelque chose chez Hugo Boss ou Mango. Non, c'est pas ça. L'idée, c'est how you present yourself and how people see you. En fait, en gros, c'est vraiment prendre soin de soi. OK? Prendre soin de soi et prendre soin de son corps, en fait. OK? Next command, please. Alors, juste pour avoir une définition assez spécifique, on parle de skin care, hair care, shaving and hair removal, personal hygiene, and dress for success. OK? Alors, skin care, c'est se dire prendre soin de mon visage. OK? Alors, une chose aujourd'hui, des fois, on a tendance à dire, oui, mais ça coûte ça. OK? Alors qu'aujourd'hui, même les garçons, il y a même beaucoup d'hommes au salon aujourd'hui pour dire que this is becoming so important in the business world and you realize that you need to be, comme on dit, donc présentable. Voilà, le mot, c'est ça. And it is, c'est pas une honte de se dire qu'en tant qu'homme, voilà, je vais faire un scrub par exemple, OK? Donc, tout ça fait partie de taking care of your skin. OK? Alors, hair care, donc vos cheveux, where you are, c'est surtout plus important. Où est-ce que vous êtes invité? Où est-ce que vous partez? OK? Donc, une bonne coupe, bien sûr, c'est présentable, c'est joli. You look, comme on dit, professionnel. Voilà. Donc, vous allez paraître professionnel par rapport à la manière que vous vous coiffez. OK? Et plus important, c'est que vous devez savoir où est-ce que vous partez. Est-ce que c'est un business network? Est-ce que c'est un mariage? Est-ce que c'est juste une réunion, par exemple? OK? Donc là, il faut se poser ce genre de questions. D'accord? Alors, shaving, hair removal. On ne va pas trop rentrer dans les détails dedans, mais vous savez, la shaving, donc je sais, la barbe, moustache, donc c'est très tendance ces jours-ci, but still, it have to be propre, clean, etc. Parce que n'oubliez pas, donc comme Abhishek disait, quand vous allez voir un client, quand vous allez rencontrer un client, vous êtes observé. From top to bottom, comme on dit, from head to toe, la personne va vous regarder and how you present yourself. Okay? Et personal hygiene, donc aujourd'hui, on parle de laver les mains 2-3 fois, etc. à cause du COVID. But guys, we were used to be doing it, n'est-ce pas? Il ne faut pas se dire que maintenant, je vais laver les mains, je vais apprendre à me laver les mains. Come on, ce n'est pas ça, OK? We used to be doing it, donc we have to continue to do it, bien sûr, et bien sûr, avec les protocoles sanitaires, c'est autre chose, je veux dire, avec le COVID, etc. Mais this is part of, c'est comme ça qu'on a été élevé, c'est ça qu'on a appris. We need to take care of ourselves and be clean, OK? Et le dernier point, donc quelqu'un peut m'aider dessus, qu'est-ce qu'on veut dire par dress for success? Qu'est-ce qu'on veut dire par ça? Anyone?
Alors, je voudrais partager quelque chose.
Oui.
Moi, c'est Férosia. Alors, moi, je travaille avec les jeunes en situation de handicap. J'ai commencé un petit business avec eux. Et là, comme si j'avais une réunion avec mes sponsors, je me suis un petit peu fait chic, un petit peu, mettre des boucles d'oreilles, tout ça que je n'ai pas l'habitude de mettre. Alors, j'ai eu des remarques de mes jeunes qui m'ont dit « Miss ou jolie Jody ». Donc, ça m'a fait clic dans ma tête, mais c'est que tous les jours, je ne porte pas des boucles d'oreilles et tout d'un coup, je porte des boucles d'oreilles pour aller à la réunion. Avant d'aller à la réunion, je passe voir mes jeunes et avec bien sûr des chaussures à talons, tout ça. Donc là, tout de suite, comme si je me suis dit, mais ça a une importance même auprès de mes élèves. C'est pas comme si, moi, tous les jours, comme si je fais un peu vite, ce que je mets, comme si sans m'attarder que ça fait un impact même autour de nous, ce qu'on met, comment la façon d'être auprès de nos bénéficiaires, de tout le monde. Donc, ça, c'est quelque chose qui m'a appris qu'il faut quand même prendre en considération que n'importe qui peut nous regarder avec un autre œil, comme si c'est quelque chose qui a un impact sur notre business, sur notre vie de tous les jours. C'est ça que je voulais partager.
Oui, merci Férosia de partager ça avec nous. Et c'est vrai que c'est un simple exemple, mais qui fait toute la différence, n'est-ce pas? Alors, just wearing an earring, ou sinon, comme on dit, mettre une jolie blouse, mettre une petite cravate. Donc, tout ça en fait la différence. Bien sûr, il faut savoir, comme je disais au début, où est-ce qu'on part. Donc, ça, c'est surtout la question qu'il faut garder en tête. Où est-ce que vous êtes invité et c'est quoi le but, allons dire, du meeting? C'est quoi le but de ce événement? OK? C'est surtout ça qu'il faut dire. OK? Alors, donc, Bouchan qui me dit first impression is the last impression. Et c'est vrai. Donc, c'est ça aujourd'hui quand vous rencontrez quelqu'un, un client, OK? Sometimes, donc, vous n'avez pas en fait l'occasion de faire une deuxième impression. Donc, la première impression compte vraiment beaucoup parce que ça va être déterminant dans vos relations et ça va être déterminant dans votre vie, en fait. Est-ce que cette personne va vouloir vous rencontrer encore une fois? Donc, tout dépend comment le premier contact a été. Et c'est là cette partie de se dire que your personal grooming, comment je m'habille, qu'est-ce que je mets, comment je coiffe mes cheveux, est-ce que je suis propre, nails aussi, donc important, OK? Comment je prends soin de moi et de mon corps. OK? Next, please. Comal. Alors, j'ai mis quelques photos pour vous. Alors, on va passer donc vite fait dessus. Voilà, skincare. Comme je dis, oui, on a qu'une dame sur la photo, mais je veux dire que pour aussi les hommes, aujourd'hui, c'est aussi important que ça. OK? Next. Alors, hair care, donc nous, je prends surtout le contexte de la jeune chambre des fois, quand on est invité, quand on a des événements assez formels, ok, donc formels comme on dit, il faut savoir en fait quel est le, alors comment je vais me coiffer par exemple. Est-ce que si c'est un bal masqué, ben c'est un bal masqué, c'est totalement différent, mais quand vous allez rencontrer un client et peut-être juste être dans un networking event, you need to know que voilà, j'ai besoin de me coiffer et que je ne vais pas, comme on dit, sortir de mon lit et arriver dans la réunion. OK? Donc, ce n'est pas ça le but parce que, comme on disait, vous n'avez souvent pas l'occasion de faire une deuxième impression. Donc, la première impression compte vraiment. Bien sûr, on a un peu exagéré sur cette photo, mais en fait, pour vous faire réfléchir que tout ça a son importance. OK? Next, Komal. Alors, donc, comme je disais, donc, shaving hair removal, donc, rien n'est nouveau pour donc, vous, les hommes et les dames aujourd'hui. Waxing, s'épiler les sourcils, bien être présentable devant les gens. OK? Next, please. Yes. Alors, donc, petite question de réflexion et en même temps, donc, vous écoutez un peu. Pourquoi vous pensez que c'est important? Pourquoi on met encore plus d'importance aujourd'hui sur donc l'apparence et aussi how you, comme on dit en anglais, how you carry yourself? OK? Pourquoi c'est important dans le monde du business et dans le monde actuel? Anyone, please? Un commentaire ou des réflexions? The appearance conveys your intention. OK? Tu peux nous expliquer un peu plus, Yoshika? Si c'est possible d'activer le micro ou dans le chat.
Justement, bonjour tout le monde. Je suis Yoshika. Alors, par rapport à la question, en fait, la réponse était l'apparence traduit quand même l'intention. Si on est un peu mal habillé par rapport au contexte, éventuellement l'intention pourrait être applicable par rapport à une intention convenable, mais si l'apparence n'est pas correcte à ce moment-là, je pense que les intentions pourraient être diluées ou bien diverted.
Oui, merci. Merci. Pour ça. Anusha peut-être? Une idée? Oui, donc Satyam qui me dit, it's a reflection of the service that you deliver, how the person is, how disciplined you are. Oui, c'est vrai. Et ça rejoint ce que donc Yoshika disait, c'est un très bon point, c'est que quelle est mon intention derrière? Est-ce que j'ai envie de faire un sales? Est-ce que j'ai envie de juste apprendre à connaître la personne? Est-ce que j'ai envie de juste, comme on dit, juste connecter, like create a connection avec cette personne-là? Et ça va se refléter justement par la manière que vous vous habillez et que vous vous présentez dans cette réunion. Okay? Quelle est l'intention derrière? Et tout ça, en fait, on ne réalise pas que tout ça a son importance. Okay? Et souvent, on parle ici du non-verbal. Okay? Le non-verbal language qui est votre posture, qui est votre gestuelle, okay? les gestuels et aussi donc eye contact, comment vous êtes dans cette réunion, comment vous vous présentez, how you sit. OK? Donc, tout ça, en fait, c'est une autre partie de communication et de grooming. Mais en fait, il faut prendre tout ça en considération. Et en sachant que vous allez peut-être, that you will do your maximum dans cette réunion pour avoir donc peut-être sales et avoir un contrat, est-ce que vous êtes dans cette intention de vous dire, est-ce que vous allez plus créer une relation et une connexion? OK? Quelle est votre intention derrière? Et ça va se refléter par la manière que vous êtes et comment vous allez vous présenter à cette personne ou dans cette réunion. OK? Merci. Next, Komal. Allons, donc, pourquoi on parle du personal grooming et pourquoi c'est encore plus important aujourd'hui? It represents your image. Avant que ça parle de votre business, avant que vous commencez à présenter votre business, votre logo, votre brand, peu importe, premièrement, you are presenting yourself. You are representing your own image en tant qu'individu. OK? Yes, donc Georgina qui me dit justement, it is part of your PR and communication as well, your image, justement. Donc, avant de venir vendre votre service, you are selling yourself first. Remember this, OK? Donc, you representing your own image. And people will, je ne vais pas dire judge, but les gens vont vous observer surtout. OK? Dans le monde du business, dans le monde d'entrepreneuriat, wherever you are, en fait. Peu importe où vous êtes observé, les gens vous regardent et c'est tout à fait normal. OK? Deuxième, it builds self-confidence. Like when you are wearing something nice et que vous êtes à l'aise surtout, ben vous vous sentez bien et surtout vous vous sentez en confiance. OK? Donc, vous n'hésitez pas ou sinon vous avez mis une blouse, vous allez à chaque fois faire comme ça. Ou maintenant, vous avez mis une cravate, vous avez tellement chaud, you will just do this in the whole meeting. Vous-même, vous vous mettez en fait mal à l'aise. OK? Donc, des petits gestes comme ça, mais qui est tout à fait remarquable dans les business meetings. Et you have to be aware. Donc, il faut être conscient. OK? Qu'est-ce que je mets? Comment? Est-ce que je mets quelque chose où moi-même, je suis à l'aise? Par exemple, donc, je peux juste faire une petite parenthèse là. Quand on dit de vêtements et tenues vestimentaires, c'est que, par exemple, en tant que formateur, trainer, je suis très consciente quand je fais une training, what I'm wearing. Surtout que vous êtes en train de bouger dans la classe, people will observe you. Okay? Donc, vous êtes observé tout au long de la session et il faut que vous mettez quelque chose où vous êtes à l'aise. Okay? Et ça va se remarquer, en fait, dans l'audience. Troisième point, c'est it helps create better relationship. OK? Donc, comme on disait, la première impression compte beaucoup et les gens vont se souvenir. OK? Whether you are wearing. Des fois, on se dit, ben, je mets une chemise, il y a une petite tache là, personne ne va voir. Croyez-moi, les gens vont regarder que cette tache-là quand ils vont vous rencontrer. And then you will think, OK, mais c'est pas remarquable, on va pas voir. Mais en fait, peut-être vous voyez pas, mais la personne qui vous rencontrez va remarquer and then il va se dire, mais en fait, vous n'êtes pas, donc, you don't take care of yourself, vous n'êtes pas professionnel et vous êtes pas donné le temps, surtout, to be presentable, to make une bonne, de faire bonne impression. OK? Donc, imaginez comment la personne qui vous reçoit a déjà fait une idée de vous. OK? Donc, on est en train de parler de ne pas être dans le judgment et jugement comme si par rapport à tout ça, mais n'empêche qu'aujourd'hui, tout ça fait partie du business. OK? Et c'est pour ça qu'on en parle aujourd'hui, parce qu'en tant qu'entrepreneur, en tant qu'individu, vous allez côtoyer plusieurs personnes, plusieurs audiences, plusieurs secteurs. OK? And you have to be ready for this. Il faut être prêt, il faut se dire, voilà, qu'est-ce que je mets, comment je me comporte, comment je m'habille pour cette réunion. Qui je rencontre, OK? Aussi important, je pense que dans les autres slides, on en parlera aussi. Quelles sont les personnes que je vais rencontrer dans cette réunion? OK? Est-ce que ça va pour tout le monde? On peut peut-être faire un petit signe, un petit like, un petit cœur, comme ça, je sais que tout est OK de votre côté. Super, OK? Alors, importance, oui. Donc, remember, people by people first. Qu'est-ce que je veux dire par ça? Férosia, hein? Qu'est-ce que vous comprenez quand on dit donc people by people first?
C'est la première impression, comme si quand on vient, la première impression que les gens vont avoir va se faire décider, mais c'est cette première impression que vous créez qui va déterminer la suite de l'engagement que vous allez prendre avec la personne.
Oui, oui. C'est quelque chose, ceux qui étaient dans l'autre session avec moi la dernière fois, maybe this is not new to you, pour dire que people by people first, c'est que avant que j'achète votre produit et votre service, il faut que je vous achète vous en tant que personne et individu. C'est que it is about trust. OK? Donc, vous vous êtes déjà présenté donc, à l'heure dans cette réunion. You seem, you are clean, you are taking care of yourself. L'apparence, la personne que je vois que c'est quelqu'un qui est très consciencieux, OK? Qui est très en confiance et par rapport à son apparence, la personne, elle est sûre d'elle, OK? Donc, people buy people first. Avant que j'achète, par exemple, cette savonnette, OK? Mon besoin, avant tout, vous achetez vous en tant que personne. Est-ce que déjà là, je commence à créer une connexion? Il y a un lien qui se fait. Et je pense que peut-être beaucoup d'entre vous a dû faire cette expérience. Vous rencontrez quelqu'un pour la première fois et ça fait clic déjà. Pourquoi? Parce que la personne, comment elle s'est présentée, how the person walked in dans la salle. La personne a traversé la salle et est rentrée. Tout de suite, ça a créé une connexion et ça a fait un déclic chez vous. And then you said, okay, I just want to meet that person. Combien d'entre vous ont eu peut-être cette expérience dans des réunions, dans des networking events que vous êtes partis ou des gens que vous avez rencontrés? Vous pouvez peut-être juste faire un petit reaction pour nous par rapport à, donc, just let me know combien d'entre vous a eu ce genre d'expérience. Yes, donc Binou qui me dit, oui, Satya, merci. If they like the person, they will buy your products. Yes, most of the time. En fait, c'est ça, c'est la connexion surtout qu'on est en train de dire qui crée et qui va peut-être déclencher déjà du business pour vous et qui va déclencher une relation. Alors, à savoir aussi, donc, petite parenthèse sur ça, c'est que peut-être le sales, donc la vente ne va pas venir d'un seul coup. C'est ça qu'il faut se dire aussi. OK? Avant tout, c'est la relation que vous créez. Avant tout, c'est la connexion que vous créez avec cette personne. Et après, peut-être la vente va venir. Donc, il faut aussi avoir ce mindset. Comment je me présente? Est-ce que je suis là pour créer une connexion et une relation? So, people buy people first. Always remember this. Okay? Et deuxième point, people will refer people whom they trust. Donc, imaginez-vous, vous êtes dans cette réunion mal habillé, mal coiffé, mal rasé. Donc, est-ce que j'aurais aimé faire du business avec vous? Est-ce que je vais aller recommander cette personne qui m'a paru déjà mal coiffée, mal habillée, etc. Because it is his image, but it is also my image. Parce que je suis en train de référer cette personne. OK? Et surtout, donc, comme on sait, Maurice est petit, tout le monde connaît tout le monde. So the word will go around que, ben, whom did you refer? OK? Donc, soyez très conscients par rapport à ça. Donc, on a besoin d'avoir cette connexion et surtout que si ça passe bien, these are the people that we will refer for our business, for other businesses. Et on va se dire, tu sais, j'ai travaillé avec cette personne, il y a eu donc vraiment une bonne connexion, confiance et aussi le service était bien, ben, je te recommande vraiment cette personne. Donc, just think about it. Combien de petits gestes, en fait, qui a compté? L'apparence, le body language et votre comportement. L'attitude que vous avez eue, votre apparence, comment vous vous êtes présenté, comment vous vous êtes habillé. Donc, tout ça a fait un impact sur la personne. And the person will want to work with you in the future. Okay? Comment, please? Yes. Alors, j'ai juste mis des photos vite fait pour donc se dire, donc à peu près, when people say sometimes, donc des fois, vous allez voir, on fait dans les events, dans les présentations, dans les réunions, on met un dress code, OK? Donc, par exemple, si on met business formal, comme nous montre la photo, OK? Comment vous devez vous habiller? OK, donc là, comme vous voyez, donc costume, donc veste et cravate. Pour les dames, donc robe et veste aussi, jupe et veste, OK, business formal. À savoir que, comme je disais, mettez quelque chose où vous êtes à l'aise. Donc là, je prends l'exemple pour les dames. Ne mettez pas une jupe super courte et après, quand vous vous asseyez, donc la jupe monte encore plus and you are not at ease en fait. OK? Next, please, Kamal. On avait donc une autre photo, donc business casual. Donc là, à savoir aussi le contexte qu'il faut prendre en considération. OK? Donc, c'est un peu plus light, comme on dit. Vous pouvez donc mettre des ballerines pour les dames. Pas nécessaire de mettre la veste. Pour les hommes, donc chemise, pas nécessaire de mettre la cravate. OK? You can wear a jacket. Maintenant, si c'est l'été, bien sûr, vous n'allez pas le faire. OK? Donc, tout dépend en fait de la culture aussi. OK? On est en train de parler du contexte de Maurice. OK? Peut-être dans d'autres pays, dans d'autres contextes, ils vont aussi s'habiller différemment. Donc, ça aussi, il faut prendre en considération. Mais j'ai voulu mettre quand même quelques photos juste pour qu'on ait une idée, en fait, qu'est-ce qu'on est en train de dire. Yes. Alors, ici, quand on dit casual, donc, you can wear a polo shirt. OK, polo shirt et un jean, par exemple. Et pas nécessaire de, comme on disait, donc, pas nécessaire. Une chemise aussi, manche courte, ça peut passer. OK? Pour les dames, donc, j'ai vu, donc, sur la photo, là, donc, on a mis un pantalon 3/4. Donc, ça dépend, en fait, où est-ce que vous êtes. Donc, surtout que ici, comme je le disais, dans le contexte mauricien, il y a la façon qu'on s'habille, on est très conscient. Et je pense que nous, de manière générale, we know what to wear and where we are going. N'empêche, une chose qui est importante, c'est que ça ne coûte rien, en fait, de demander who will be the person in the event. Donc, quels sont les gens qui sont invités. Par exemple, on vous invite dans un networking, donc vous allez déjà, donc là, vous avez déjà une idée qu'il y aura peut-être des managers, il y aura peut-être des CEO, il y aura peut-être des directeurs. OK? Si on vous dit c'est juste informal, just connecting with people and getting to know each other. Donc là, vous savez que c'est un peu plus relax, comme on dit. OK? Vous n'êtes pas obligé de mettre votre veste, de mettre cravate, etc. OK? Next, please. Yeah, so cocktail and semi-formal. Donc, ça, c'est un plus, des fois, je prends plus l'exemple de la jeune chambre, mais aussi pour les dames. Donc, des fois, l'idée, c'est, comme on regarde sur la photo, et je dis toujours, sometimes you never know. En fait, on peut vous appeler, par exemple, même dans un networking event, on vous demande tout d'un coup de présenter votre business ou de parler de votre produit. OK? And here you have to be cautious dans le sens que peut-être vous n'êtes pas préparé à ça. Et là, ce que moi je recommande, c'est bien toujours d'avoir donc une écharpe, d'avoir une veste, je parle pour les dames, et que when you are in front, when you are addressing the audience, et que vous n'êtes pas mal à l'aise. OK? Donc, vous allez mettre l'écharpe sur vous, vous allez mettre, par exemple, la veste, and then you will present, and then you will talk. L'idée, c'est que vous êtes à l'aise, comment vous êtes habillé et comment les personnes dans l'audience vous regardent et vous observent. L'idée, c'est surtout ça. Mais, comme je dis, when you don't know, there is nothing wrong à demander, en fait, qui sont invités, quelles sont les personnes, les entreprises, en fait, qui vont venir. Donc, ça va déjà vous guider, ça va déjà vous aider à savoir, OK, ben, peut-être comment je dois m'habiller pour cette réunion. OK? Next. Yes. Alors, donc, j'ai mis ce slide par rapport à notre comportement parce que je réalise que ça fait aussi de notre grooming, OK, de notre personal grooming qu'on est en train de parler et des étiquettes qu'on est en train de se dire dans cette réunion. OK? Alors, le comportement des gens, OK, c'est important, peu importe où vous êtes, n'est-ce pas? Dans le bus, dans le restaurant, dans votre entreprise, dans une réunion. So, be respectful towards the person. Alors, même si, comme on dit, on peut avoir différence de point de vue qui est tout à fait normal. Et c'est là qu'il faut pouvoir donc respecter la personne qui est en face de vous. Parce que vous ne savez pas, en fait, when you might need this person, when you might need his services. OK? Et comme on disait, le monde est petit, Maurice est petit. Et après, c'est notre éducation, n'est-ce pas? On peut avoir différence de point de vue, but you respect the other person's opinion et point de vue. Deuxième, qu'est-ce que je veux dire par ça? Respect the title. Anyone? Vandana, peut-être? Sur le deuxième point. Oui, Yoshika, mannerism. Komal, peut-être? Respect the title.
Je dirais la hiérarchie.
Oui, Ferozia, oui, la hiérarchie. Yes, okay. Komal?
Yes, maybe if we have a chief guest, so we need to respect that person and give them the due respect that he or she deserves.
Oui, oui. OK? Quand on connaît le titre de la personne, donc c'est normal, OK? On va l'adresser, par exemple, c'est un docteur, c'est un professeur. Le title matters et c'est très, très important pour la personne quand on connaît. Mais si on ne connaît pas, ce n'est pas un problème. Mais c'est ça que je voulais dire. Respect the title of the person. Déjà, bien prononcer le nom. Ça, c'est quelque chose de très important parce que notre nom, n'est-ce pas, c'est notre image, c'est notre brand, comme on dit, avant le logo, avant tout ça. So people want to be called by their name. Quand quelqu'un vous présente, vous dit son nom, soyez attentif. And if you didn't hear, si vous n'avez pas donc bien entendu, donc redemandez le nom de la personne pour ne pas mal prononcer. Because it is so important to the person, n'est-ce pas? Alors, Yoshika qui me dit, Mademoiselle, define the level of civilization of an institution or country. Oui, donc tout ça, comme je disais un peu plus tôt, c'est aussi comprendre la culture et le pays, donc, et surtout comment nous, ici à Maurice, on s'adresse à d'autres personnes. C'est monsieur, madame, mademoiselle, et après, si on connaît le nom, ben, on va adresser la personne comme ça. Bien sûr aussi, il faut rester dans, comme on dit, est-ce que c'est formel ou informel? Est-ce que vous connaissez la personne? OK? Ou vous ne connaissez pas la personne, c'est la première fois que vous rencontrez cette personne. Donc, tout ça, il faut pouvoir donc prendre en considération. OK? Do not attack the person. Là, c'est assez donc spécifique. Pourquoi j'ai mis ça? C'est surtout quand on est dans des events, donc dans des événements assez open, on vous dit de partager votre point de vue par rapport à quelque chose. OK? Et vous pouvez ne pas être d'accord avec la personne ou une présentation ou la façon que les conversations se passent. Mais vous n'êtes pas là pour critiquer et vous n'êtes pas là pour attaquer la personne. Mais vous allez respecter et peut-être après rencontrer la personne donc personnellement et dire, écoutez, mais vous avez dit ça tout à l'heure là, je suis pas trop d'accord ou voilà, j'ai un autre point de vue. Et vous allez échanger. OK? So understand in which context. OK? Dans quel contexte la personne est en train de parler, quel est le sujet, quel est le but. Et après, vous avez donc tout le droit d'avoir une différente opinion, mais de quelle manière vous allez le dire. Okay? And manage your emotion. En fait, donc un autre point, c'est surtout par rapport à la communication, mais qui rentre aussi dans le grooming, c'est que l'émotion est très, très importante. C'est que des fois, on peut être fatigué, on arrive dans une réunion ou on est un peu stressé dans une réunion devant un client. On sait qu'on a une présentation super importante à faire et que this would be, comme on dit, donc the sales of the year, n'est-ce pas? C'est là que vous allez faire le maximum et gagner plus d'argent, n'est-ce pas? OK? Donc, il y a bien sûr ce stress, il y a, on sent les mêmes mois, on commence à transpirer, etc. So you need to manage all this. Et comment? Donc là, c'est vraiment prendre de grandes respirations, se mettre en contexte, boire un verre d'eau, par exemple, and you have to manage all these emotions pour que la personne ou l'audience qui est en face de vous ne voit pas et ne sent pas que vous êtes donc tense et que vous êtes stressé. OK? Take your time. Et des fois, des petits gestes simples, mais qui font toute la différence. Par exemple, just, vous êtes debout devant la salle, par exemple. Donc, avant de commencer, you just ask the audience to present themselves. Par exemple. Donc, ces quelques secondes sont déterminants dans le sens que you have time to pause, you have time to relax et vous êtes plus en confiance. Et les quelques minutes qui passent, le stress est déjà parti. Okay? Alors, enhance your experience. Quelqu'un peut donc nous dire qu'est-ce qu'on voulait dire par ça? Enhance your experience. Shivani? Any idea? Une idée?
Enhance your experience, se mettre, comme vous dites, manage your emotion. Je pense que enhance your experience, c'est manage your stress and make it a good experience for yourself.
Oui, c'est ça. Donc, faites en sorte que ça soit une bonne expérience, OK? Alors, donc, add a little something to your experience, Binu me dit. Oui, c'est beaucoup de soi. OK, c'est beaucoup de soi. Enhance your experience et se dire que qu'est-ce que j'ai à apprendre de cette personne. OK? Moi, je trouve ça important aujourd'hui. Pourquoi? Parce que chaque personne qu'on rencontre va nous apporter quelque chose. C'est-à-dire, je suis là pour apprendre et que chaque personne que je rencontre aujourd'hui peut m'apprendre quelque chose. Et j'ai dit ça tout à l'heure là dans la session, je suis un lifelong learner, dans le sens que je me dis, chaque personne que je rencontre aujourd'hui peut m'apporter quelque chose et je peux apprendre de cette personne. So this is what I mean by enhance your experience. N'allez pas avec des, comme on dit, des visières et que je me dis, voilà, je connais ça, je suis comme ça, and that's it. Non. OK? Keep an open mind. OK? Yoshika qui me dit, give the best version of oneself and learn out of each aspect. Yes. Surtout, donc, you are, comme on dit, on est là pour s'améliorer tous les jours, on est là pour apprendre. And each day is a new day to learn and to be better. OK? Understand the culture. Donc là, c'est aussi par rapport à, surtout, donc si vous rencontrez différentes personnes de différentes cultures. Et là, il faut apprécier et il faut comprendre. Et là aussi, le grooming rentre en jeu dans le sens que il y a des gestes qui peuvent être mal placés ou peuvent paraître mal polis. OK? Donc là, vous devez savoir how do you greet the person. Et aujourd'hui, bien sûr, avec le contexte COVID, on n'a pas le droit de shake hand, etc. Mais je veux dire, this is what, quand la période COVID sera passée, OK? Bien sûr, keep this in mind where you are going. Quelle est la culture, quelle est la personne que vous allez rencontrer et surtout ne pas faire des gestes qui peuvent être vexants ou qui peuvent paraître mal polis. OK? Oula, OK, Bouchan qui me dit, alors, one Swami Vivekananda in his saffron was walking near a park in the US. A woman who had been conspicuously observing him for some time stopped him. Unable to control her thoughts, she asked him, can't you wear proper clothes to look like a gentleman? Oh my God, for him. So Vivekananda, with a polite smile and gesture, replied, in your culture, a tailor makes a gentleman, but in our culture, character makes gentleman. Super, merci. Merci Bouchan pour ce partage. Donc justement, ça fait toute la différence et aujourd'hui la culture, et je pense que nous en tant que Mauriciens, on est assez ouverts à plusieurs cultures et on apprécie. OK? Donc c'est surtout cela que je voulais dire par rapport à la culture. Il faut pouvoir comprendre, apprécier et respecter la culture de l'autre. Et surtout quand, c'est ça que je disais demain, you never know where you might be going. You never know where you are invited. Qui sont les personnes qui vont être là-bas. Donc, gardez ça en tête surtout. OK? La culture, l'apparence, la gestuelle, the body language may be meaning different things in different cultures. OK? Alors, donc, une question pour vous. How do you want to be remembered? OK? Donc, en tant qu'entrepreneur, oui, mais en tant qu'individu. Comment est-ce que vous voulez que les gens se souviennent de vous? Anyone? Yes, Komal.
Like a role model?
Oui, un role model, OK. As a good human, oui, c'est vrai, donc très, très important. As a creative, fun person, oui, aussi. En fait, justement, on a kind person, oui, impactful. Oui, c'est vrai, très bien, Abhishek, oui. Parce que, en fait, des fois, des petites choses qui peuvent paraître banales, mais en fait, peut-être vous avez dit un mot, vous avez dit une phrase et la personne va se souvenir de ça. Même des années après, tu sais, j'étais dans un meeting, cette personne a dit cette phrase et voilà, ça crée un déclic chez la personne. So always keep this in mind. How do I want to be remembered? OK? Bien sûr, certaines personnes ne vont pas vous aimer. Bien sûr, on ne peut pas plaire à tout le monde, but I mean, just give the best of yourself. OK? Où est-ce que vous êtes? At work, un meeting, donc avec des amis, whatever it is. OK? You are creating an impact aujourd'hui et vous êtes observé. C'est surtout ça. Et des fois, des petits gestes et un mot, you never know, you are inspiring someone. You are motivating someone par rapport à ce que vous avez dit, qui peut en fait paraître simple et banal, mais ça a toute son importance. Et aujourd'hui, c'est ça. Par rapport à ce que vous dites, par rapport à comment vous êtes, par rapport à comment vous vous comportez, vous pouvez donc, sans le savoir, inspirer quelqu'un et créer de l'impact. So this is what I mean when I'm saying, how do you want to be remembered? Always keep this in mind. Okay? Next, Kumal. Yes, Yoshika, merci. So people will remember you by the way you dress. OK? Donc, c'est ça qu'on voit en premier, n'est-ce pas? L'apparence. Et après, on voit la personnalité quand vous allez commencer à parler. Mais à première vue, qu'est-ce que je vois? How you are dressed. Are you taking care of yourself? Est-ce que vous me paraissez quelqu'un qui prend soin de vous? You care about yourself. OK? Deuxième, by the way you talk. Donc, avant, justement, comme je disais, vous allez parler, vous allez donc vous introduire. Donc, là, c'est différent. Donc, là, déjà, ça commence à former une idée dans la tête de la personne. Okay? Qu'est-ce que vous allez dire déjà quand vous allez commencer à parler? Comment vous allez faire votre introduction? Okay? Et troisième, by your behavior. Donc, votre comportement. Okay? Quand vous franchissez la salle, quand vous entrez, quand vous vous asseyez, OK? Donc, déjà là, la personne va commencer, donc les gens vont commencer à vous regarder, OK? If you adopt, comme on dit, un carefree attitude, ou sinon, si vous êtes donc assis à une table, vous mettez le coude comme ça, OK? Du genre pas intéressé, pas du tout motivé, pas passionné par ce que vous êtes. Donc, ce genre de comportement se reflète, OK? And this is how people will remember you and will want to do business with you or not. OK? Donc, comportement, attitude, donc tout ça fait partie aujourd'hui du grooming qu'on est en train de parler et c'est tellement important dans le monde actuel. OK? Next, Komal. Yes. Alors, n'oubliez pas en fait que communication is key. Et quand je parle de communication, c'est que le verbal et le non-verbal. OK? Donc, whether you are talking, whether you are writing, ou sinon de l'autre côté, the body language, la posture, les gestuels, OK? Le eye contact. Tout ça, en fait partie de notre communication. And whether or not, est-ce qu'on pense à ça ou pas, you are communicating all the time. OK? Même si vous ne parlez pas, votre corps parle et les gens vous observent et on a déjà une idée par rapport à how you are. OK? Donc, en fait, c'est ça notre communication qu'on est en train de dire verbal et non verbal. OK? Next comment, please. Yes. Is there any question? Alors, je pense, je suis dans le temps, si je ne me trompe pas. Alors, je sais que cette présentation a été donc vite, j'ai envie de dire, mais n'empêche, si vous avez des questions, allez-y et comme ça, on peut wrap up the session. Anyone, please. Soit vous activez le micro, soit vous pouvez le mettre dans la boîte à discussion. Or any comment, any experience that you want to share, please. Bhushan? Alors, pour Jacqueline, does traditional clothes like churidar or hijab considered as formal? En fait, je pense plus et je parle plus dans le contexte mauricien, vu qu'il y a plusieurs cultures et communautés, il y a pas de mal et que c'est acceptable aujourd'hui. OK? That people won't and can't judge you par rapport à ça. Et surtout parce qu'on est dans le contexte mauricien et qu'il y a plusieurs cultures, communautés et on se respecte et c'est acceptable. OK? Ah, donc quelqu'un vous a dit ça. Alors moi, je pense le contraire parce que dans le sens que dans le contexte mauricien, je pense que c'est tout à fait donc acceptable. C'est pas comme si dirait on était dans un pays où on vous dit vous n'avez pas le droit de wear the hijab, par exemple. OK? Donc là, c'est peut-être une atteinte à la culture de la personne et il faut être très, très vigilant à ça parce que ça peut paraître discriminatoire. Okay. Oui, Yoshika, en fait, il y a plusieurs cas et exemples. Et je pense qu'il y a une chose aussi, peut-être que je n'ai pas toutes les réponses, mais je sais qu'à Maurice, ici, on est assez quand même donc, tolérant et on est respectueux donc, envers les autres personnes et il faut pouvoir respecter ça et la culture. Si on était, comme je dis, dans un autre pays totalement différent, avec des cultures différentes, là, ce serait différent. Mais Maurice, je pense qu'on est, en tant que peuple mauricien, on est quand même assez tolérant et on respecte la culture et la communauté de l'autre. Et surtout, il faut être vigilant par rapport à ça et ne pas vexer la personne, ou sinon que ça peut paraître discriminatoire. Yes. Any question? Anything that was not clear? Donc, quelque chose qui n'était pas clair, vous voulez qu'on clarifie avant que je finis et je passe la main à Georgina.
Moi, j'ai une petite question ou opinion. C'est quand je vois les entreprises comme Google et YouTube qui sont encore beaucoup plus flexibles au niveau des vêtements qu'ils portent. Ben, personnellement, est-ce que vous voyez que c'est une bonne... On progresse, on va dire, ou... how do you think it is? On est encore plus relaxed là-bas. Quand je regarde les documentaires sur les employés de Google, ben, ils n'ont pas strictement un cadre formel de mettre des vêtements très formels et tout. C'est quoi votre opinion?
Yes, so then it is, again, je vais dire personnel opinion, je vais partager. J'allais dire justement à Georgina de partager aussi par rapport à son expérience. So does it not depend on the company culture? Voilà, j'allais répondre par rapport à ça. Ça dépend dans quel secteur vous êtes, OK? Et aujourd'hui, si je prends mon cas, quand je fais plusieurs sessions de communication, j'anime des sessions, I would never wear a jean. Peu importe la session où je suis, je vais dire surtout en business, secteur privé et public, je vais jamais mettre un jean. Pourquoi? Like people will already judge me, un traîneur en jean. Vous voyez, donc déjà, ça crée quelque chose dans la tête des gens. Ils vont se dire, les jeunes, ils mettent jean, ils qui pour montrer nous. OK? Donc, tout ça fait quelque chose et crée quelque chose dans la tête des personnes. Donc, dans la culture mauricienne, je ne vais jamais le faire quand je sais que je vais animer une session. D'accord? Mais par contre, dans la jeune chambre, c'est autre chose. I can wear a jean and my polo. OK? Donc, par rapport à ta question, Shivani, c'est surtout la culture de l'entreprise. Qu'est-ce que l'entreprise permet? OK? Si je prends l'exemple, donc je n'ai rien contre les call centers, il faut juste bien comprendre ça. Vous allez voir que des fois, ils sont assez relax par rapport à leurs vêtements. Why? Because people are not seeing them. OK? Donc, ils peuvent mettre un polo, jean, etc. Et ils sont au téléphone et bien professionnels et ça s'entend. But the wearing, l'apparence est très relax. Donc là, ça dépend de la culture de l'entreprise et qu'est-ce que l'entreprise permet. Quand j'étais, juste un exemple, quand j'étais chez Accenture à l'époque, les vendredis, c'était dress down. Donc, vous avez le droit de mettre le jean et donc une blouse ou un polo, mais pas sans manches. So, someone was wearing torn jeans. Le même jour, HR a envoyé un mail, dress code policy. OK? Ou bretelles. Donc, quand on a dit de mettre jean, bien sûr, il y a certains, donc Mauricien connaît, là, on met tout, on met jean déchiré. On est arrivé au bureau et tout de suite, HR a envoyé un mail pour dire, voilà, this is the dress code policy. You are allowed to wear jeans, but not torn jeans. OK? Donc, tout ça, en fait, est important. Il faut bien comprendre le policy, donc la politique de l'entreprise et la culture de l'entreprise. Est-ce que ça répond à ta question?
Yes, cool. Yeah.
Yes. Et merci, Georgina, pour avoir donc ajouté donc, ce point qui est tout à fait important et par rapport à votre expérience. Merci. Yes, so I think if there is no more question, that's it for me. Et je pense que je suis à l'heure, n'est-ce pas, Président Satya? Okay.
Cool. Thank you, Senator Ashveena Mewa, for educating us on the crucial aspects of business ethics, which is a key ingredient for the success of any business. Thank you very much.
Merci, merci. Alors, s'il y a d'autres questions, vous pouvez toujours donc le diriger vers donc, le président ou d'autres membres de la jeune chambre et je vais essayer de répondre. Mais sinon, à savoir que peut-être bientôt, je vais devoir animer une session plus longue, OK, par rapport à ça. Mais en tout cas, merci pour la plateforme. Merci à vous. And bonne session, Georgina et les autres.
Okay. Thank you. So dear participants, before we move on to the final session, I will invite you to take a 5 minutes break for refreshing yourself, and we'll reconvene at so it's 11:09. So we resume in 5 minutes. Yeah. Dear participants, let's continue with our session. Allow me to introduce you to our next trainer, Georgina Ragaven. Georgina is a well-known woman entrepreneur with key expertise in training, communication, and business development in Mauritius. She is also one of the leading women who believe in empowerment at all levels. She's coaching entrepreneurs on how to set up a successful business venture and become resilient in this ever-changing world of the SME landscape. A leading champion for women's empowerment in Mauritius, Georgina is a former advisor to the Minister of Health, Minister of Youth and Sports, Ministry of Women and Children, and Ministry of Gender Equality. And until late 2019, has been advising the Minister of Gender Equality, Child Development, and Family Welfare in relation to women entrepreneurship development, amongst others. She currently sits on various boards, including the National Empowerment Foundation, WIN, which was an initiative of JCI Curepipe. She actively collaborates with a number of shelters and other NGOs. As a founder member and past president of the Rotary Club of Phoenix, Georgina has been a Rotary District PR representative in 3 past terms. In May 2019, Georgina set up a new NGO called We Empower, for which she is the current chairperson. Take a deep breath, ladies and gentlemen. She is a recipient of various awards for leadership and voluntary achievement. In March 2020, she received the Points of Light Award from Her Majesty, the Queen Elizabeth II. Please accept my heartfelt congratulations for your achievement, Georgina. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our trainer, Georgina Ragaven.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all there, and I hope you can hear me, because this session will also be very interactive, and it follows on very nicely from where Ashveena left us off, because your image and your etiquette designs your brand. Your brand goes in line with your communications and your PR. So it's all very much about what message do you want to put out there into the community as an entrepreneur or as a human being. It's what you're going to be remembered as. So very quickly, let me ask you, when we say the word PR, what does it mean to you? What does the word PR mean to you? Anybody? And please, now, if you're all entrepreneurs and none of you want to speak, I want to know how you're going to sell your products. So please, hands up, put a message out there, or thank you, Yoshika. But what does public relations mean? What does it mean to you? I'm going to have to pick somebody then. So be ready.
Actually, it is an approach we adopt to communicate our product to our customers. It is the way we project ourselves in selling anything that we have.
Very good.
So it is a projection, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Anything else, anyone? Adequate communication to present the context. Yes. There is no wrong answer. I just want to hear. I mean, of course, unless it's totally off the record, but how to convey your brand to the public. Very good, Shivani. Yes. Okay, let's have the next slide, please. So it's defined as a practice of what we communicate both to our internal and external customers. Internal customers being the people we're with all the time, external customers, of course, the clients and the people we're selling to or working with. So just as a little warm up again, let me have some of you, and in fact, why just some of you? I think I would like to hear all of you. And it's up to you how we do this. I can just go into the list of participants and start from the first one, which apart from me is Hanusha. 3 words that describes your business, Hanusha.
Yes, hi, Georgina.
Hi.
So I would say stable.
Yeah.
Stable, profitable, and regional.
Okay, very good. Varuna, 3 words.
It's hello, Georgina and everyone.
Hi, love.
So my business will be similar like Hanusha. It's a stable, regional, and profitable also because it's the government sector. Definitely.
So, but let's try a bit more. Let's look out of the box. Let's try and be creative. Let's look at, let's look at new words. Ashveena, do you want to have a go? Ashveena, not there. Kamal?
I would say sustainable, affordable, and profitable, because it is an important factor after all. Yeah.
Yes, good. Satyam?
Yes, so I would say dynamic, technology driven, and I would say customer satisfaction.
Okay, lovely. Shivani's just given us a nice one as well. All to do with the eco-friendly and Vinu, creativity, eco-friendly and local. Shivani, can you just give us yours? Get online and give us yours.
So it's innovative, ethical, and eco-conscious.
Very good. So you see the image. Anybody else want to share?
For me, it's new, challenging,
yeah,
and eco-friendly.
Thank you, Feroza. Thank you so much. Yes, I know a little bit about your NGO and you're doing an amazing job, my dear. You're doing an amazing job. Anybody else? Or else we'll move on. So as you see, public relations is very much about the communications that you want to put out there about your company, your image, and your brand. And this is something that everybody needs to start thinking about the minute they start a business. What do I want to be known for me and my business? What do I want to be remembered about? So we'll have the name of the company, and then we'll have a little tagline or a little pointer, or the 3 words we had there, the eco-friendly, technology-driven, something necessary. So I'm going to ask you to start thinking from now, but towards the end, if you can think of a tagline with regards to the business you're in. Okay, say for instance, with the NGO, we empower women and children across the island. We believe in the empowerment of women. If you empower a woman, you empower the community. Now, with my private business, Star Connections, I always tell people we make stars of you because I help with their PR, their communication. So we make a star of them and their business, hence the name Star Connections. So start thinking from now, because I'm going to ask some of you to give me some feedback later on what is your tagline, the name of your business and your tagline. Of course, those that can. I mean, it should not be anything confidential because public relations is something that you should be able to share with everybody. That is your public relations. Okay. Next slide, please. communications needs to have a strong influence. So you need to have words that catch the attention of the public. So you need to have words that are relevant in the here and now, words that are important in how you want to be known on the market, if it's affordable, if it's the go-to place, depending on what kind of business you have, if it's the eco-friendly, upcycled product. Think of that tagline, which will be able to communicate the message to the public so that whenever they think of that product, they'll think of you and they'll come back and they'll be loyal. And at the same time, while you're doing that, you're creating your brand. You're creating that image, as Ashveena was saying, the image you want to be known for, the image you want to be remembered for. So this is also one of the very important tools in line with your PR. And of course, we all know the different ways of communication, and especially now with the new technology, you can communicate in many, many different ways. It could be in the written press, it could be online, it could be the marketing tools that we have, it could be social media, it could be Twitter, Instagram. Any one of these is a tool that you can use for your branding and your communications of your business. How many of you have already started Facebook pages for your business? Anybody? Yep, Shivani. Anybody else? Yep, Binu. Ferozia, I know you have, haven't you, for the association?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And so remember to use the different tools that are available to you as a way to communicate your message. And the other thing is, do not be afraid of, Dunisha, thanks dear. Do not be afraid to go towards the media as well. The newspapers over here. If you have a story to tell about your business and your product, do not be afraid to tell that story in the media. Next slide, please. Use this opportunity of going towards the media to share your story. What's going to make you different? Why should I buy from you? And I want you again here to think, each one of you, and then I would like some of you to share, what is the message you want to bring out there about your brand image? I mean, I don't know which field you're all in. So if you could just share a little bit with us about your brand image. What is it? What do you do? Anybody want to share what they do? I'm going to remind you again, if you're entrepreneurs, how are you going to sell your products if you don't want to talk? Do you want me to go through the list again?
I would like to share because me, what I want to show is that youth with disabilities, they can do things. They are talented youth. It is not like they are 20 years old and now they have to keep away from education, they have to stay at home, which is the policy actually what it is. So these intellectually youth with disabilities, with intellectual disabilities, they are not to be kept at home with their old parents. They have to go out and show what they can do. This is what I am encouraging parents to, not to keep their youth in their house, but to show, to bring them places where they can show what are their talents, how they can do painting, how they can, through this painting that they have learned, make creative things. This is what I want to show to the public. Thank you.
That's lovely, Ferozia. And have you managed to get some media coverage of this work?
Unfortunately, as far as disability is concerned, which I always I don't want to talk about it, but there is a monopoly for certain persons to be in the front line. Those who are now emerging, they tend to be, media don't want to, we don't have this access to media because media is monopolized by certain big persons who have direct contact and who wants to do things as they see. But and for those emerging NGOs, media don't tend to look after us. That's the reality in the disability world.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Listen, Feroza, let's connect offline. Let's see if I can help you a little bit with some PR for your association. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much, Georgina.
Offline. Anybody else have anything they want to share about their... Okay, Yoshika, put yourself on speaker and share what you're just telling me.
Hello, Georgina. Hello, everybody. Actually, I wanted to share the fact that most of our youngsters these days, they are running after white-collar jobs. And eventually, during problem like pandemic and so on, and most of them found themselves or either with a salary which has been decreased, or they have been fired. But still, we do have, even if we have academic certificates, we can still consider like working with plant cultivations or any other handwork. There is no shame actually in working with this type of in this type of field. So I think there is a problem actually in the new generation who are looking for white-collar jobs, positions, and so on. So it doesn't mean that if we work with handwork or artisanal field, we cannot be respected, we cannot earn our bread decently.
Okay, very interesting concept there. And how do we bring that message to the public as part of our PR? As an entrepreneur, how do we bring that message out there so that not just the youth, whoever is with us, whoever is listening or reading our interview, our PR, our message on Facebook, on Twitter, or Instagram, how do we put that out there, that there's nothing wrong in being an entrepreneur? Because what I'm understanding from that comment is that people don't want to be entrepreneurs. But from where I see it, there are a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs. And most of us on this platform have chosen to be entrepreneurs in one way or another. Does that make sense?
Well, no, actually, it didn't mean that people don't want to be entrepreneurs. They do want to be entrepreneur, but in most of the white-collar jobs, like noble jobs, but very few people eventually seek for the handwork field. They are not very interested in this one because they feel that they have the status is not so important if they work with cultivation or handwork.
Okay, so we have a job there ourselves. We need to start putting some PR out there to show people that every job is a decent job. What do you say, Yoshika?
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, we need to get that message out there as entrepreneurs and as people who want to encourage more people into this field of cultivation or being farmers, or whether it's a big farm, small farm. I think we need to work together and get that message out there.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you. I'm sorry.
And so does everybody else by the sound of things.
I'm sorry. It's my daughter. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. So when we are preparing something for a PR, when we're preparing something, a message we want to pass out there, And can we move on to the next slide, please? When we prepare a message for our branding, our PR, our advertising, we have those five, the usual tools that we use in any communication process, whether it's personal communication or communications in any program that we're working with. So is the new slide there? Nope. Anyway, I'll carry on. And again, I want you to start thinking about this. Yeah, the 5 W's and the 1 H, or the 5 wives and the 1 husband, as some people call it. So to start preparing your PR strategy and your PR message, it's the same as any communication plan or project. When are we doing this thing? Or when are we doing this business? Who is doing it? About yourself or the people with you? Where are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And then how? How? And this is the message that is out there for PR. And it's just a strategy we all use, and we mustn't forget, when we want to prepare our PR, it's got to be charismatic. It's got to be attention drawing. It's got to be to the point, yes, not just a lot of verbose fla with no message directed to it. However, it also has to reach and get to the audience. Now, for instance, Feroza, I hope you don't mind if I take you as an example, but with what you're doing, if we play with the emotions of people on understanding that people with disabilities do have a right to be prepared, educated, and become entrepreneurs, and that we should be buying local from our local entrepreneurs who may have a gift, and that gift is their ability to produce these products. So working with the words which are the emotions of the human being, and we all have them. Entrepreneurs, non-entrepreneurs, white collars, green collars, blue, whatever. We all have emotions. So if you use your words wisely going forward. I'm getting some weird messages about recordings on and off. Is everybody okay? Are you still with me? Yes, no?
Georgina.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. All right. No, things were coming on and off saying recording started, recording stopped. I don't mind being recorded, but I thought, okay, what's happened? So can I give you 5 minutes just to look at those 5? So carry on, everybody.